Hi, I'm Lance Lambert. Thanks for tuning into the Vintage Vehicle Show. We are in Lake Stevens, Washington at the Aquafest Car Show. The car show is part of the Aquafest celebration here, something that happens every year. The whole city comes out. It's a great time. You are going to have a great time. You're going to meet some really neat people, see some great cars, listen to some good music. So do what I always tell you to do. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. A lot of cars here today. One car really struck my fancy for two reasons. It's a father and daughter team that rolled in together, and also the sound of the car. It sounded great. Peter Burrows, your car looks really cool.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about it.
It's kind of a traditional hot rod from the 50s. That was kind of the build I wanted to do. It's a Model A frame with a 51 flathead Merc engine, a 27 Roadster body, and 40s running gear for the juice brakes.
Mm-hmm. I don't see any billet here or anything that's not really traditional on this.
There's one thing that isn't traditional that you can't see. I'm running a 5-speed box, which gives me decent speeds on the freeway. But other than that, it's traditional.
When did you get the car? What did you start with? And how long did it take you to put it together?
I started with a pile of pieces that I bought off of someone who never finished their project and pieced the entire thing together. It's taken about 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And your sidekick here, Sally, what do you think about this?
When I first saw it, I thought it was a pile of crap. It was just a big old rust bucket. I was shocked that he was buying it for $2,000, and now I see it and I was wrong.
Do you get to drive it?
When I get my permit in like a week.
So in a week you're going to be terrorizing the neighborhood with this?
Probably.
So you've got the 51 Merc motor and the suspension. What do you got going on as far as the rest of the car? The 5-speed transmission, but what else?
There's a standard Ford Banjo rear end in the rear. It's all original buggy springs. So I've actually got something unusual going on. The 5-speed goes back to torque tube and driveline as opposed to an open driveline, which is fairly unusual. Most people, when they put a 5-speed in, have to convert the back to an open drive and lose the buggy springs. But I've got the whole original authentic setup going on.
One of the things that's obvious about this really stands out is the seats and frames look like they came out of a World War II bomber, and then your spun aluminum panels. What's the history on those?
Originally I actually scored from a swap meet a pair of biplane seats to go in it, which were genuine from the 30s. Unfortunately, they didn't fit my wider girth, so I had to actually make copies of them out of electrical conduit. I built them myself, but to the same specs as the seats I found, and then I sold the seats on. I think the reason everybody thinks they're real is because the accessories, the belts are from a World War II bomber. They've got like manufactured in 1945 on them. They are genuine belts.
Sally, you're going to be 16 here pretty quick, or 15 or what? Okay. And your crowd, I'm making a blanket statement here that's perhaps unfair, but I would think that your crowd is into the tuner cars and you know, the littler foreign rides. How is it that this appeals to you rather than one of those?
It's out of the ordinary and it catches everybody's eye, and I like being in the car with my dad driving down the road.
So is Peter one of the cool dads?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, cool dad, thank you very much for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show.
Thank you.
And Sally, thank you. And by the time this airs, she has her driver's license. So if you see her in this car, probably should go the other direction. Many of you, like me, grew up looking at the little books, Carcraft and Rod and Custom and all those great magazines that had those customs from out of the 60s. Well, this 62 Econoline is really making a hit because it just captures all that. Trevor, you built the car, correct?
Yep.
And Luke, you own the car, and your brothers?
Yeah, we both worked on it. Yep.
Okay, well, tell us, how did this come around, and what made you decide that doing something so traditional was the way to go?
For me, I just told him that I wanted to do an Econoline truck, and it was just talk, and then he found it. I bought it and just decided to do something completely different than what you normally see, so that's how it started.
Yeah, I know you've built other cars, and was this because you went with the 60s sort of car show? You know, I can see angel hair around this thing.
Yeah,
like
that's
in
what
the
we kind of
older-
wanted to do. Traditional 60s custom, something different. A lot of guys do the gassers out of them, or make race cars out of them and stuff. I just wanted to, the truck's so kind of bizarre anyway. I wanted to kind of do something different you don't see every day.
This sort of design was so popular, and the way the paint fades and the metal flake and all that, and then it fell out of favor and it just wasn't cool anymore, and all of a sudden, about 5 years ago, this kind of stuff started appearing again, and now I watch people's reaction to this thing at car shows. They love it. Why do you think it changed? What happened?
Like I said, it's kind of unusual, it pulls people in. Maybe people are tired of seeing the same stuff, but yeah, I don't know, we just
do you think it's
tried something. We didn't know how it was going to go, but yeah,
I wonder if it's a little bit of the rat rod or traditional. Not this isn't either, but that crowd appreciates the old style of customs, so kind of brought it back. What's the running gear on it?
Stock straight 6 motor. It's a 170.
And that's sufficient?
Yep.
Okay. And no high performance, no special rear end?
No, just a cruiser.
Uh-huh.
Just goes on looks alone, I guess.
When this body style came on of trucks, when the Core vans came out and the Econolines and the truck form of these things, I thought that the whole truck industry was going to just sweepingly, because it just makes so much sense this way. Why do you think it didn't happen? I mean, they were around for a while and went away.
For me, I don't know. Probably because they're so unique and they're just not that eye-catching to the normal person to want as a vehicle that they drive all the time. So,
Trevor, what do you think?
My guess, safety. With nothing up front there.
Nothing. There's a sheet of 18 gauge steel in front of you.
Between you and whatever's hitting you.
Anything will bounce off. Yeah.
But I don't know. You would think they would have caught on more because it gets good gas mileage and stuff like that, and you can haul stuff in them.
Yeah, the beds on them are great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. What's your advice for somebody that's thinking about doing a car that's a real throwback to the 60s style of custom?
Just go through the little pages like you were talking about, and that's kind of, we flipped through some, looked at old pictures, and it's probably the best way to do it, do them the way they were done.
All right. Well, you guys did a great job. It's a beautiful truck. And it's good to see a couple of young guys and out there turning heads and getting respect for the young end of the hobby and the cool cars. So thanks a lot for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Dale Sandin, this car, I have been aware of this car since it was built. The fellow that built this was a friend, is a friend, and I've always loved this car. I hadn't seen it for years, and all of a sudden, there it is, and you're driving. What's the story?
Well, Ken built this, Ken Nelson, and he's a good friend of mine, and he said, I got enough cars, I want to get rid of this one. So I said, hey, I'll buy it. I asked him what the price was. He told me. I said, that's it. We didn't haggle, nothing. And this car has been just a beautiful car. It's a great riding car. We enjoy it. We take it out on clear days. Ken put a nice T-top into it, and the car just runs like a charm.
Mm-hmm. That T-top, does it leak at all, or is it okay?
It leaks at times, but most of the time it just comes right on off. It's about as easy to get off as can be. It's easy to store, and they just make a beautiful convertible, whatever you want to have it.
The running gear on this, was it
390.
390, okay.
Yeah, it's a standard. Nothing special on the running gear. It's been clean, and it just runs like a top.
And transmission, everything is just right out of the factory.
Right out of the factory. Just the body itself. The grill on it is a 63, the hood's a 61, the car is a 62. We got even a 55 Galaxy taillights into it.
T-Birds, the rocket bird or the bullet bird or whatever you want to call this body style, I think is a little bit underappreciated.
Yeah, most of them go to the what they call the jet bird or the 64, 65, 66s. And this one has just been very clean. It's what I would have done to this car in about 65 if I'd had the money back then, but we were raising family and didn't have it. But this is the customized that I would have done to it. It's clean, but you still know it's a T-Bird.
What kind of reaction are you getting from people on it?
Oh, they just love it. They love the color of it. I got a lot of thumbs up. and just people just thoroughly enjoy this.
Have you had anybody say, "Oh yeah, I had a T-top like that too"?
No, no. I've had one car show I was in, little tiny one at a retirement home, and I had one like it at home. And I said, yeah, and they said, yeah, that's a joke on it, that one, because no one has ever seen a T-top on this.
Well, I want you to know that I have a history with 62 T-Birds, and I drove one to my senior prom, which was probably, I'll put it up in the top 5 worst dates I've ever been on in my life, even at my tender age back then. But the only high point of the senior prom was driving my dad's T-Bird.
Yeah.
The rest was bad. But all right, well, thank you very much. Beautiful car, very traditional design. I love it, and cool T-tops and
We
cool
really
car.
appreciate it, and you have a great day, and welcome to our Washington weather.
Okay. I am with McKenzie Walker, and McKenzie, you have a beautiful 1959 Ford. It's a pedal car, huh? You're kind of getting big for it. Did you have this when you were a whole bunch smaller and you could pedal it around?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What's your favorite thing about it?
The color of it.
Uh-huh. And what are those colors?
White, gray, and red.
Uh-huh. And I noticed the interior, you even have it upholstered, because it was just metal before, huh? Yeah. So it's comfortable? Mm-hmm. Your grandpa has a car kind of like this, huh?
Yeah.
So you guys go to car shows together?
Yeah,
As you get bigger, do you think you're going to get some bigger cars?
I think so.
Uh-huh. And you'll stay in the hobby?
Yeah.
You think other kids should get in the hobby too?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do any of your friends see this and do they like it?
Yeah.
Any of your friends have one?
No.
And the car show today, did you have a favorite car here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it?
The Mustang, the white Mustang.
There you
over
go.
there.
Yeah, Mustang. It's a beautiful car and it has your beautiful name on it, McKenzie.
Thank you.
You're welcome, McKenzie. Thank you very much for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show. And we'll see. I'll just watch you over the years and see as you get bigger, if you get bigger cars. I love unusual cars. I love Crosleys. I've seen a lot of Crosleys at various shows, but I've never seen a Farm O-Road at a show. Denise Matthews, cool ride.
Thank you so much.
And you are in the special interest category here at the Aquafest Car Show, which seems really appropriate for this car.
Yes, it's hard to find a category to put it in, so I was glad to see this one.
What was Crosley thinking? What was the market for this? What were they thinking when they put these together?
Well, this was a farm vehicle. You could get an option with a plow on the back.
So Farm O-Road, so you can haul a bale of hay in the back or pull some kind of...
You can plow up your fields.
Mm-hmm. Cool cars. They're great. What's it like to drive this?
Oh, it's fun. You don't want to go over like 30. 25 to 30, perfect cruising speed. After that, you hit a bump and it's like, oh, I wish I was going slower. It just jars you.
So it's a kidney buster.
Yes, whiplash.
Restoration on something like this has obviously been restored.
From the ground up.
Does it, if I was restoring a 1950 Ford as opposed to a 50 Crosley, is the expense, on the surface it sounds like a dumb question, but a paint job is a paint job and upholstery is upholstery. Are you going to be into this nearly as much as you would a full-size car, or is it substantially? Yes?
Definitely.
So it's smaller.
Finding parts are almost impossible. It's taken 4 years to collect the parts to put it together. And of course we did all the body work and the painting ourselves.
The Crosley community, is it real tight? Is there a bunch of them around here in the Northwest, or are you far and few between?
There's only 200 of them left that are registered.
Of this model?
Of this model. We have number 28. I can't remember what state they're in. For the main, where's the main state? Ohio. Well, that's where they were built.
Who are you talking to, some phantom over there?
My little voice.
Okay, come in here, little voice.
Come in here, little voice.
We're gonna meet the little voice here.
This is my boyfriend, Greg.
Boyfriend, Greg. You're a lucky man. You got a cool girlfriend, and she has a cool car.
Great car.
Yeah. Were you involved in the restoration on this?
Oh, I did my share.
Mm-hmm. What was the toughest thing?
Finding the parts. Bottom line, just trying to collect the parts, enough working parts to put together to make it run.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel safe?
It's really safe. It's solid. I've taken some pretty fast corners in it. It doesn't tip. It doesn't do anything. It's just the bumps alone are enough to jar you.
So it doesn't tip till it does tip.
Yeah.
You have been drawn as much attention with this car today as any other car that's here.
It's just an oddball. It stands out just because of its size. Nobody believes it's real to begin with.
Uh-huh.
And when they see it, they can't believe it has a 4-cylinder in it and has everything every other car has.
So 4-cylinder, how many horsepower, how many cubic inches?
It's 44 cubic inches, 26.5 horsepower.
So, see, early Volkswagens were 40 horse, weren't they?
I'm not sure if they had that much,
Okay.
but maybe.
Well, Denise, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And boyfriend, boyfriend Greg, thank you very much for being on the show. And this is a really cool little ride. What a great time we've had here at the Aquafest Car Show in Lake Stevens, Washington. Great cars, great festival, really a good time. Thank you very much to you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Till then, bye-bye. A great shot of my